Hello, it's me, and we're going to continue our 3x3x5 series journey with Calvinfan's a series of puzzles that are kind of based on this structure over here. Last time we did the X cube. Now we're going to do the L cube. So as you can see, it's got the same kind of form as these do, only it has a L shape instead of an X shape. What that means is we have still the base 3x3, much like we had it over here. And it's actually more of a cross cube principle. I brought this cross cube out here, which has it on every surface. Here they just have it on 4 of the surfaces. Here they just have it on 2 of the surfaces. So really it's a 3x3 with extra cross cube variance over here. Now I'll tell you that the solve of this is exactly the same as what we did before. No new algorithms. And the technique is just like any shape-shifting cuboid, is you use 3x3 strategy to get it back to the native shape, and then from there do various strategies to get it back. Over here it was treating these as the centers of a 5x5 supercube. Except for the last one we'd solve these as such. Then for the last one I just solved it like a 3x3x5. Over here we can't do that. The reason that we can't do that is once we get it back to the 3x3 base, and we're solving these two, even if I just solve this, I can't do this last one as a 3x3x5 last layer because I don't have a layer down here. To do edge swaps and corner swaps, I need to be able to turn it like this and turn this around as well, but I can't do that. So I'm going to have to solve these two as a straight last two center supercube strategy, but it's no problem. Trust me. Anyway, so first thing to do is of course scramble the puzzle. Now I'll tell you, although the stickers do tend to kind of leach off on you from time to time, this really is a very robust puzzle, very well put together puzzle. And I'm going to be referencing once again a 3x3 to go through the strategy. I did that with the X cube, but I'm going to refresh it over here as well. So if I were to go through a scramble here, you can see sometimes the stickers like to start to peel. I got to put it back here, but I'll turn this over here. Move it up. Now before I start doing a significant amount of shape shifting, what I'm going to want to do is I'm going to just scramble it with these here to try to enhance the challenge. I'm going to try to separate out all the little bits and pieces, and I'm just oscillating these back and forth like they were the last two centers of a 5x5, and I'm, like I say, just teasing them out, trying to take away any amount of order that appears. So that looks pretty good. Once I've done that, then I can commence with the shape shifting. Now as I'm doing this, like with any cuboid, the types of moves that I'm doing are 3x3 moves. So basically the base puzzle is going to be like a 3x3 with some extensions that we have to deal with. So I'm going to continue the scramble and take it from there. Abracadabra. Okay, we're doing well. So once again, we'll correlate that with the scramble of a simple 3x3. All right, very good. So the first step with this, as in any cuboid, just sticking with the basics, is to solve it like a 3x3. The purpose of any 3x3 solve or base puzzle solve of a shapeshifter is to get it back to the native shape. And then from there, you can start to manipulate the other areas, in this case the cross areas. I won't be able to deal with these bandaged areas until that happens. So what I'm going to do is find what my base puzzle is. I'm going to find what my 3x3 solve is going to be. Well, I've got the center over here. Now before, with this guy, I had 2 areas that didn't have the cross portion to it. And because of that, I had the potential of having equivocating pieces. These centers can really be exchanged for each other. These corners can be exchanged for each other. And that led to the potential for parity. Well, not really parity, but placement parity in the center toward the end. The good news with this puzzle is that you have more specificity of where pieces go. So you have less equivocation and less potential for that kind of placement parity. So the first step is I'm going to use either my yellow or my white center to do my base 3x3 solve. I'm not going to use the green center because I want it to be opposite a center that is not going to be a cross area. When I say a cross layer, I mean one of these. Anything that's attached to the 3x3. Now looking at this, we can see that there's 1, 2, 3, 4 centers that are like the centers of a typical Rubik's Cube. Here it was only 2 centers. Where all the other centers, you can tell, had the cross layers on it. The cross layers are those that are sort of stuck onto the base 3x3. So over here, all of these centers here and here, the L portions of it, these are coming out at me, so I know that those are the cross layer areas. So I'm going to solve this in accordance to a 3x3 strategy where a top and a bottom are going to be my 3x3 base puzzle. So in this case, it's going to be orange and white. So I'm going to go ahead and do that strategy, starting off with putting in the cross with my edges. Now, remember with the X cube, when I put in my edges, there's no specificity with this. One edge can be like another edge. This could be swapped with this could be swapped with this. The good news with this, in many ways, this is an easier puzzle to solve than the cross cube. The L cube is actually easier because I retain my specificity of where these edges are supposed to go. So as you recall, to get the cross, if I were to liken it onto this and just do the yellow one, this yellow and green has only one place to go, one edge. It can't be anywhere else, just over here. So this gives me complete knowledge regarding where things are supposed to be. So bring this over here, blue, I've got this here, and move this into here with an orange, up over here, bring this back, and over here. So there's my cross, and again, we were completely specific here, here, completely non-specific. In this particular puzzle, every edge has a place to go because now I've retained some usual 3x3 centers, this one and this one, the red one and the green one. So what I'm going to do is put in my cross much the same way. So you can see here's a yellow and green, this is just flipped upside down, so I'm just going to put this in exactly the same way that I would do a 3x3. Turn, match this up over here, and turn this up, and we're good. Moving on, here's a green and red, which belongs over here. Match the center up over here, and turn it in, bringing this one back. So I'm not really rocking your world with this. Now the other two edges are edges that join the yellow piece with the cross layer pieces over here and here. In this case, those two are exactly the same. They're equivalent to each other. So it could be this one, or it could be this one. It really doesn't matter. So we can actually alternate, or we can equivocate these two edges to go anywhere. So I'm going to go ahead and put this up here, move this so that this cross edge matches this cross center, bring this one up over here, and then move this one back down. So we have this over here, and now we need another edge piece that is yellow and matches this cross area here. And that's going to be this guy over here. Now there's no way to know where one is supposed to go as opposed to another. This just happens to be of the same color here, but so is this. So we'll move it up over here. So these two edges are equivalent to each other, much the way that all of these edge pieces were equivalent to each other. But for all intents and purposes, we have specificity here, here, so we have our cross. The next is, of course, we do our corners. Corners, once again, I know exactly where everything's supposed to be. Yellow, red, blue, right over here. R-I-D-I-R-D. And we can move past that a little bit and just place these corners here in the way that we know to place corners, like a 3x3. So red and green over here, turn, turn, and once again this over here too, and up. So that's what we mean by the top layer. Now over here, with this puzzle, none of these corners had any specificity, which means this could be here, this could be here, this could be here. When I was putting in my base puzzle, my base 3x3, I didn't really care which corner went where. In this case, every corner has a specific place, so it becomes pretty easy. And here's what I mean by that. So here's an example of a corner. Now this looks like a typical 3x3 corner with three colors, red, green, and yellow. So I'm going to move this down out of the base layer here, and then find the red, green, and yellow area. Here's red, but this isn't the right center over here. It's not green. So it's right over here. Green, well, nope, here it is over here. So red and green and yellow. So this is going to make its way over here. Put it at the bottom, R-I-D-I-R, and you can do the D if you want. But anyway, this corner has a very specific place. Over here, well, this corner here is going to be green, but then we're going to have an extension attached to it because it's going to be a cross layer. So we have this over here. Well, this is a red one, yellow and red. So find the red center, which is over here, red center. So where's this going to go? Well, it's right over here. So this has an extension. So really with this side, it's yellow, red, and an extension, or the cross layer. So that's what this one is. It belongs in this corner, which is yellow, red, and extension. So that's where this belongs. Yellow to here, red to here, and the extension to here. So that tells me that it belongs in this corner over here. So move it to the side, bring this down, move this in to where it's supposed to be, and bring it up. So you see, this is where it's supposed to be here. So that was different from this corner. I could tell the difference. This was red and green to match this center and this center. This is red with an extension to match this center and this center. Now let's move on. Here's a yellow and green over here. So we move it to the green center, which is over here. And here we have the green center with an extension over here, which means this has to come up to here. Yellow, green, and the extension, or the cross center. Yellow, green, and this matches up to the cross center over here. So we'll go ahead and move this in. Turn it out of the way. Bring it down, in, and up. All right, so we're building that. Now this corner, notice with this corner, we don't have any base 3x3 centers. It's all extensions, right? It's all part of the cross area. But it's the only corner that does this. So this corner, which is yellow, doesn't have any colors on any other side once we put it in here. So you'd think it's just like these corners here, where you have yellow and then they're all extensions. But because this is the only one on this layer that has that, we still maintain specificity. In other words, there's only one corner that has that criteria. So here's that corner over here. Yellow and extension and extension. So there's no colors on the other sides here. So turn this down, bring this in, turn this in, and turn this up. So what we have is we have basically our first layer over here. We ignore these, but they're associated with the proper center. And the difference with this puzzle, the easier part, really is that everything has specificity. So these two edges can be flip-flopped. They don't have specificity, but every corner does. So then we move to the middle layer. So as you recall, the middle layer has a very simple algorithm. Turn this upside down. And I can tell what's supposed to belong over here. And we can see that this is red and blue. Find the blue center. This comes over to here. To go down to the left side, UI, LI, UL, UF, UI, FIN, sticks it right over there. We continue with this layer here on the right side. UR, UI, RI, UI, FI, UF. And that puts that here. And then you can continue finishing up this middle layer using the same algorithms. This is beginner's method, pretty simple, fun to use. This one just has to be turned upside down. I'm going to keep it here just to kind of prove a point in case you missed it with the X cube. So same thing here. Now the difficulty of this one is that once I was putting things in the middle layer, which is here, all of these, you couldn't really tell what was supposed to go where. All you knew is that the white piece, if it was in this layer, has to be moved up. That's all you could really tell with that. Here, we actually have more specificity. So for instance, if you take a look at this edge is red and green. We just find the green center, and this comes down to here. So it's exactly like this puzzle over here. There's no difference. Red and green know exactly where to go. Red and green knows where to go. So this is going to flop down here to the right. This edge piece has two cross pieces attached to it. We know that that's not the right one. So down to the right side, U, R, UI, RI, UI, FI, U, and F. Piece of cake. There it is over here. So let's see, what else do we have? Well, this is white, and it belongs on this layer here, so we don't touch that. Now this doesn't have white here, so this actually does belong in this layer. But the question is where? Now in this puzzle, it could be any one of them. They were all like that. All of these edges were like that. In this case, we only have one, so we have some specificity here. This actually needs to go between here. This is the L-shaped over here, just like this. So if I move this here, it's obvious that this centerpiece Doesn't come down to here because that's red and something else. There's no red here. Doesn't come here because that's green and red. And it doesn't come over here because we have a green center. So the two center areas that have extensions are these two, which means this edge piece that has the edges that have two extensions must come over to here. The only thing I don't know is which direction. Do I move it down this way or do I move it down this way? Well, there's no way for me to know right now. So I don't know if I'm putting it in like this or putting it in correctly like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to randomly take this that has the two extensions and deposit it in the edge that's between the two cross centers over here. U, R, UI, RI, turn, turn, something like that, turn and turn. So as you can see, this edge piece is between these centers over here. So we keep going. We have an edge, we have a red edge over here with an extension, with a cross layer here. Well, this is the red center, and it's just got to come down here to match this cross area here. So basically, I know that this comes here. It doesn't come over here because this cross area has to be lined up with this center. So move this in conjunction with the proper center here and move it down here with the same algorithm. U, R, UI, RI, UI, FI, U, and F. So this is in, and this is where it needs to be here. So you see we're creating our base 3x3. So what else? Well, here's the green. This is a green with the extension. So find the green center, which is over here, and this lines up here to come down to this extension. So this is a cross layer over here. This is an extension that's going to belong into the cross layer over here, lined up with the green center. So, like I say, with every one of these, we have perfect specificity of where these edges are supposed to go, except for this one, which was the two cross edges. So, UI, LI, U, L, U, F, UI, and FI. So this is in place with here, and this is lining up with the cross center over here. All right, so we basically have the middle layer, and you can see our 3x3 coming together.